Juicy Chelsea analysis. Xabi wants a runner. Chelsea has two names. Kobbie Mainoo and Morgan Rogers are both on the radar, but only one fits what Alonso is really building at Stamford Bridge. Imagine you are building a new engine for a car. You do not just need any engine, you need a very specific one that runs fast, keeps working even when conditions are tough, and does the job other engines cannot do. That is exactly what Xabi Alonso is doing right now at Chelsea, and the first part he is looking for has a very clear description: a box-to-box central midfielder who presses hard, covers ground, and never stops running. Two names are on the table, two very different players. One decision that could define how Chelsea plays for years to come. So what is Alonso actually looking for? When the news came out that Xabi Alonso is targeting a central midfielder as his first Chelsea signing, fans immediately started dreaming. Some thought about a big name. Some thought about a proven champion, but the sources close to the club made it very clear that Alonso is not chasing reputation. He is chasing a very specific type of player, not a destroyer. Those are the defensive midfielders who break up play, sit deep and protect the back line. Not a playmaker either. Those are the number 10s who receive the ball in tight spaces, play clever passes, and pull strings from deep. What Alonso wants is the player who does both all the time, across the whole pitch. Not a destroyer, not a playmaker, a box-to-box runner with high pressing output. The reference name that came up in reports is Granit Xhaka at Bayer Leverkusen. That tells you a lot. Xhaka was seen as a slow, sometimes clumsy player when he was at Arsenal, but at Leverkusen under smart management, he became one of the best midfielders in Europe. He covered every blade of grass. He pressed without stopping. He linked defence to attack with simple, direct passing. He led by energy, not by tricks. That is the profile. Energy. Ground coverage, pressing, simple decisions made quickly, hunger over reputation. Before we go further, here is a question for you. When you watch Chelsea in midfield, what has always felt missing? Is it energy, intelligence, leadership? Keep that in mind as we go through both players. Kobbie Mainoo, the engine room kid. Kobbie Mainoo, Manchester United and England. A central midfielder built for the future. Still only 20 years old, but already someone who has played in some of the biggest games in English football. Let us start with Kobbie Mainoo. He came through the Manchester United Academy and broke into the first team in the 2023 to 2024 season. The way he settled into top-level football at such a young age was seriously impressive. He did not look like a kid. He looked like someone who had been playing Premier League football for years. What makes Mainoo interesting for Alonso is the base of what he does. He works hard. He covers space. He does not hide when the team is under pressure. He also has good passing ability for someone his age. He keeps things moving, does not overcomplicate situations, and understands when to go forward and when to hold position. Where Mainoo fits the profile, Mainoo does not just sit. He gets up and down. In certain games for United, and especially for England, you could see him pressing defenders, winning the ball back high up the pitch, and then quickly recycling possession. That is exactly the behaviour Alonso wants to build around. His age is also a factor. At 20 years old, buying Mainoo would mean Chelsea are not just signing a player for now. They are signing a player who could be the engine of this midfield for the next 10 years. You buy him now, you shape him, and you get the best years of his career. The honest questions around Mainoo. Here is where we need to be fair and honest, though. Mainoo has had a difficult time at United since that breakthrough season. Injuries and inconsistency hurt his momentum. He did not always look the same player who looked so comfortable in his debut year. There were games where he went missing, where his energy dropped, and where you wondered if the initial excitement was slightly ahead of reality. There is also the pressing question. Alonso wants someone with high pressing output. Mainoo can press when the team structure asks him to, but he is not naturally the most aggressive chaser of the ball. His best work tends to happen when he receives it, rather than when he is hunting it. Would you trust Mainoo to be the pressing leader in Alonso's system right now at 20 years old? Or would you need him to grow into that role first? Morgan Rogers, the hungry one. Morgan Rogers, Aston Villa and England, listed as a number 10 option. Versatile, direct, and someone who has genuinely surprised the Premier League this season. Now let us talk about Morgan Rogers, because this is where the story gets really interesting. Rogers plays as a number 10, which on paper seems like a strange fit for what Alonso described. A number 10 is usually the creative player, the one between the lines, the one who makes things happen going forward. Not exactly the pressing box-to-box runner Alonso talked about, but here is the thing. Morgan Rogers is not your typical number 10. He does not just float around looking for the ball in nice areas. He works, he runs, he presses. He has been one of the quietly impressive performers in the Premier League this past season, and his work rate without the ball has been genuinely excellent. Why Rogers makes sense in a different way. The Alonso system at Leverkusen was built on everyone pressing together. The number 10 was not exempt from that. Alonso used players in that position who could contribute defensively as well as offensively. Rogers fits that idea well because even in a more advanced role, he will track back, he will press defenders, and he will win the ball in areas where number 10s often do not bother. He is also 23 years old, which means he is a little more ready than Mainoo right now. He has played a full season as a key player for a top-half Premier League club. He knows what pressure feels like, and he has handled it well. The honest questions around Rogers. The gap with Rogers is that playing as a number 10 is different from being a pure central midfielder. If Alonso genuinely wants a box-to-box runner who plays in the middle of the park, Rogers might need to change his positioning and his habits in ways we have not fully seen yet. He has the energy and the mentality, but the question is whether he can operate in that deep and wide role consistently. There is also the competition question. Chelsea already have attacking players who operate in similar zones. Adding Rogers might create a crowded picture higher up the pitch rather than solving the engine room problem in central midfield. If Rogers is listed as a number 10 option, does that mean Alonso sees him slightly differently to the main box-to-box target? Could he be the second signing rather than the first? The Xhaka comparison and what it really means. The reference to Granit Xhaka at Leverkusen is the most important clue in this whole story. People who follow football closely know exactly what that means. Xhaka was not flashy. He was not the kind of player who produced a highlight reel of skill moves or wonder goals. He was the player who made everything around him easier. He covered so much ground that other players had more space and more time. He pressed so hard that opposing teams could not build out comfortably. He made simple passes quickly so the team could move forward without wasting energy. He was the reliable heartbeat of a team that won the Bundesliga unbeaten. That is an extraordinary achievement. Neither Mainoo nor Rogers is Xhaka right now. Both are younger, both are still developing. But the question Alonso is asking is, who has the foundation to become that kind of player? Hunger over reputation. That is the two-word philosophy behind this entire search. Mainoo has the physical profile and the natural midfield instincts. Rogers has the work rate and the tactical intelligence. Both are hungry. Both want to prove things. And that, more than any stat or any number, might be what Alonso cares about most. Now, more battle-tested at senior-level strong technical quality in tight spaces, can play in multiple attacking positions, would need role adjustment for the CM slot, more immediately ready to contribute. What this signing means for the bigger picture. Chelsea under Alonso is going to be a team built on hard work first. That is the Leverkusen way. Before the quality shows, the effort has to show. Before the goals come, the pressing structure has to be in place. Before the beautiful football happens, the ugly winning has to come first. That is why this first signing matters so much. The central midfielder Alonso brings in will set the tone. It will tell the whole dressing room what the new standard is. It will say to every player already at Chelsea, this is what commitment looks like. This is how hard we work, and if you cannot match it, then you will not play. Alonso showed at Leverkusen that he is a manager who can change the mentality of a group of players. Many of those Leverkusen players were not considered elite before he arrived. He made them elite through organization, belief, and incredibly demanding training standards. Chelsea's squad has enormous talent, but it has also had inconsistency and a lack of identity. One midfield signing will not fix everything, but it can plant a flag in the ground. If you had to write one sentence about what Chelsea's midfield has lacked in recent seasons, what would that sentence be? And do you think either Mainoo or Rodgers fills that gap? The community read, Lucy Chelsea fans, this is for you. Here in the Lucy Chelsea analysis community, we do not just look at names and follow hype. We look at how things fit. We ask the right questions. We think about the system, the style, and the long-term plan. So let us apply that to this situation. If Alonso builds with a high press and wants box-to-box runners, then you need at least 2 or 3 midfielders who can do that job. One signing will not be enough. So the question is not just Mainoo or Rodgers. The question is who comes first and who might follow. Could we see a situation where Chelsea sign Mainoo as the primary central option and then bring Rodgers in a different role? Could Rodgers actually operate slightly more advanced while Mainoo handles the pressing duties further back? That combination is interesting. 2 English players, both hungry, both with things to prove, both young enough to develop together under a manager who has shown he can get the best from players in that stage of their career. Or maybe Alonso signs neither and finds a different profile entirely. Maybe there is a player in Germany or Spain who fits the brief even more precisely and is available at the right price. Transfers at this level are rarely about just 2 options. Lucy Chelsea community question of the day. If you had to pick right now, which one do you sign first? And more importantly, why? Drop your thought in the comments below and let us talk about it. What we know for certain here is what we can say with confidence. Xabi Alonso knows exactly what he wants. He is not going to rush this or get distracted by a big name that does not fit the system. The Leverkusen years showed us a manager who is incredibly precise in how he builds. He does not buy players and then figure out where they fit. He knows the role, he knows the profile, and then he finds the person who matches it. The central midfielder who arrives at Chelsea this summer will be a player with something to prove. That is the common thread between Mainoo and Rodgers. Neither is a household name yet in the way that the biggest signings in football are. Both are on their way up. Both have shown they can handle top-level football. And both have the kind of energy and attitude that a coach like Alonso can work with. Hunger over reputation. That is the 2-word philosophy behind this entire search. And honestly, for a Chelsea squad that has sometimes leaned too hard on reputation and not enough on hunger, that might be exactly the change in direction the club needs. The final word. Chelsea's first signing under Xabi Alonso will not be the biggest transfer of the summer. It will not be a world record fee. It will not be a player who has won everything and needs no introduction. It will be a message about what Chelsea is becoming, a message about how Alonso wants to play and how much he expects from every person who pulls on that blue shirt. Whether it is Mainoo or Rodgers or someone we have not even talked about yet, this signing will matter more than the price tag suggests. The engine comes first, then the fireworks follow. Stay close to the Lucy Chelsea analysis community as this story develops. We will break it down, ask the hard questions, and give you the honest read every step of the way, because that is what this community is for. So tell us, who do you want? Mainoo, Rodgers, or someone else entirely? The conversation starts now.